Team 10 has just learned the family of a man shot and killed by a San Diego police officer has filed a claim against the department. It happened just 30 minutes ago and accuses the officer of shooting an unarmed man and the department of covering it up. Team 10 troubleshooter Kristen Severance just broke this story on 10news.com. She is joining us now with this brand new information. Kristen.
Yeah, the claim was filed late today. It says that the shooting was unprovoked and unjustified, and the police department tried to spin the story against the victim.
Shots fired, shots fired.
The man shot and killed by police on April 30th had mental health issues. A claim just filed against the city obtained by Team 10 says 42-year-old Fredun Rashan Nahad grew up in Afghanistan, was drafted into the Afghan army as a teenager and kidnapped by a group that's now the Taliban. After his release, his family sent him to Germany for 14 years for his safety before he joined his family in San Diego.
He bore the burdens of that. He was diagnosed as schizophrenic, and he had issues, and the family was trying to help him.
According to the claim, Fredun was getting treatment for PTSD, but would become manic. The claim states Fredun was walking downtown in the Midway district.
Code 4, send an ambulance.
San Diego police officer Neil Browder responded to a 911 call from an adult bookstore at midnight. It says Fredun was not carrying a weapon and not doing anything wrong. Browder did not activate his siren lights or body camera. According to the claim, Fredun's pace slowed when the officer approached, and Fredun was about 20 feet away when the officer shot him.
Unprovoked, unarmed, absolutely no basis to use deadly force, to use a sidearm. Shot him twice, killed him.
It's the same thing this man told Team 10.
You thought it was going to be like some kind of confrontation or something, and there was none of that.
He worked in a building near where the shooting happened and watched it on video from the building surveillance camera the next day.
When the weapon is raised toward him, he does slow down. That's not debatable.
The claim accuses the police department of trying to spin the story against the victim by telling the media Fredun was holding a shiny object, falsely suggesting he had a knife, and refusing to release the video.
Has taken the video and is basically holding it hostage, covering for the officer. Sometimes, you know, the cover-up is as bad or worse than the crime. And that's, in our opinion, that's exactly what's going on here.
Now, the claim goes on to say the city should compensate Fredun's estate and his parents for those damages in an amount of $20 million to be proven at trial.
Wow. So what is next?
The claim is the first step before a lawsuit can be filed, so we know that's coming.
And we know you'll stay on it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kristen. Now to a Team 10 investigation, a battle over police video that 10 News has been fighting for. Now a decision could come by the end of the week on whether to release video showing a police officer shooting and killing an unarmed, mentally ill man. Team 10 investigator Ire Kgtv was in court today to find out what's taking so long. Adam?
Yeah, and the city's trying to block the video, arguing in part that there's still a civil case. 10 News challenged a protective order that blocks the release of the security camera footage. We want to know what really happened that night, and we want transparency so you at home know what really happened that night. It was April 30th in the early morning hours. San Diego police officer Neil Browder was responding to a 911 call about a man threatening people with a knife. He arrived at this alley in the Midway area and came across Fredun Nahad. 32 seconds later, Nahad was dead. The shiny object he was waving, a pen, not a knife. The officer was wearing a body camera but didn't activate it. However, a surveillance camera from a nearby business captured the incident. The video has never been made public, despite 10 News pushing for transparency.
This video, we have to remember, was taken by a public business from their security camera on a public street. I mean, the fact that we even have a protective order that has kept it from the public is interesting.
Tuesday in federal court, attorneys representing the officer and the city argued the video should stay locked up, saying there's still an internal affairs investigation. They're worried about potential jurors seeing it. They don't want to try a civil case in the media and say the video doesn't tell the whole story. The arguments echoed statements made by the district attorney last month when announcing they would not pursue criminal charges against the officer.
The video captured this incident from one angle, high up on a pole, without audio. It did not capture what Officer Browder could see, what he sensed, what he said, or what he reasonably believed.
Our attorney asks why the secrecy, saying the camera is a neutral view of what happened that night, and the public is entitled to see it.
There has never been a rule that the press cannot report on either crime or the criminal justice system because the prosecution wants an absolutely pristine, set of witnesses.
And the Voice of San Diego spoke to one of Nahad's family members. They have seen that video and described it to the reporter saying this: "I think that no person in the world, in the entire universe, can see that video and come to the conclusion that my brother was attacking a police officer." Adam Rakusin, Team 10.
Right now at 5 o'clock, hours before a protective order expires, the district attorney releases video of a San Diego officer fatally shooting a man in the Midway district. Now his family has responded with a shocking allegation, why they're questioning the DA's motives for the sudden release. 10 News at 5 o'clock starts right now.
Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
It's the video you weren't supposed to see until today. The district attorney only deciding to release this surveillance of a deadly officer-involved shooting in the Midway district.
Shots fired, shots fired. Code 4, send an ambulance.
After 10 News and a handful of local media outlets fought for months to make it public.
It is a legal fight that we've been involved with since Ferdun Nahad was shot to death by a San Diego officer back in April.
And today's release is a last-minute move by the district attorney to explain what happened in the moments leading up to that deadly encounter in a Midway alley.
We have team coverage on this story, starting with Melissa Masiha, live with the battle to get that video. Mel.
Yeah, it took a court order and a federal judge's decision. The district attorney's office released a video of the shooting that happened here and much more before the victim's family released it. DA Bonnie Dumanis said she did this in order to provide a complete picture of what happened. This is the video 10 News fought for in court, showing a deadly police shooting on April 30th. Police responded to a call of a man threatening people with a knife in the Midway district. That man later identified as Ferdun Nahad. The DA released several videos. This is Nahad approaching a bouncer with what he thought was a knife.
There was a hot call on Hancock Street. The male with the knife was Asian or Hispanic male, 50 to 60 years old, gray sweater, red shirt underneath.
Officer Neil Browder responded to that call. 32 seconds after he found Nahad, Browder fired his weapon. We are pausing the video the second before Browder shot him.
Shots fired, shots fired. Code 4, send an ambulance.
The DA said 2 witnesses heard the officer tell Nahad to drop the knife.
Give me some gas, hurry up!
This is video from another officer's body camera. The DA said Browder held his finger in the bullet wound to stop the bleeding. Browder's camera was not on, later prompting the San Diego Police Department to change its policies. That knife witnesses thought Nahad had turned out to be this pen, but the way he was twirling it.
Mr. Nahad rotated the object in a manner consistent with opening and closing what's known as a butterfly knife.
DA Bonnie Dumanis showed the media a magnified version of the surveillance video, which showed Nahad taking steps toward the officer.
Everybody who came in contact with him thought the pen was a knife. The officer has a duty to protect you and me and those witnesses.
Now, the DA said the officer and Nahad were 17 feet apart. That's about from where I'm standing to this yellow wall right here. When asked why the officer didn't use another weapon, perhaps like a stun gun, the DA said that the officer didn't have time to look for it. Right now, there is a civil case ongoing as well as a federal investigation into the shooting. Reporting live in the Midway District, Melissa Masiha, Team 10.
All right, Mel, thank you. And the family's attorney is furious the DA released the video on her own terms, just hours before a protective order expired tomorrow. Now the Nahad family's attorney is on the offensive. And Team 10 investigator Adam Rakusin is live with that side of the story. Adam.
And overall, the family attorney is glad that the video is out to the public, just not the way it happened. He believes that the video paints a clear picture of what happened that night, a picture of a man they believe should have never lost his life. Saying the Nahad family attorney is upset this video was released today would be an understatement. On the phone with Team 10, Skip Miller attacked the officer's actions and San Diego County District Attorney's move by saying there's a disturbing set of circumstances down here.
She released it today while the order's still in effect. She violated a federal court order in order to, get the jump on us.
Miller says it's a horrible tragedy Ferdun Nahad was killed, but believes now that the video's out, it's clear what happened.
Police car shines bright lights on him. I don't think he knew it was a police car because they never turned the flashing red lights on, and then he's dead.
The public has a right to see and evaluate the conduct of law enforcement officers who are paid with public taxes and given the authority to use lethal force.
David Loy is the legal director for the ACLU of San Diego and Imperial counties. They hope now that the video's released, it helps lead to a new culture within law enforcement, one that brings incidents to a close without people dying. It's what the Nahad family attorney says they're pushing for as well.
Frankly, what this family wants to see is justice done in the sense that this never happens again.
And the protective order is still not up on this video. The family's attorney plans to release their own version of this tomorrow. We'll have to see if there's any difference between what we got today and what the family has. Coming up tonight at 7, we'll talk with the local advocacy group who is using this incident right now to push for better police standards. We'll have that coming up tonight at 7. Reporting live, Adam Rakusin, Team 10.